So the Nintendo Switch 2 came out a few weeks ago and I've been enjoying it since its release. If you're wondering why this video took 3 weeks, it's because I was traveling and couldn't record footage, and then I got sick, which is why my voice sounds like this and why you can't see me right now. But I got my Switch 2 and I thought I'd make a quick video with my thoughts and what I've been playing. The console itself feels really nice, it's sleek, feels surprisingly more comfortable than the Switch 1. The Pro controller is a contender for the best controller with the DualSense. GameCube controller feels great, games look amazing, the mouse is super responsive even when you use it on your body. The eShop runs, can't say that about the Switch 1. The Joy-Cons feel great to snap on and off, it's become a bit of a habit to just toy with my hands. I'm waiting to buy the camera for the Mario Party update to drop. I don't plan on using Game Chat, so I don't have a use for this right now, but other than that, I've pretty much experienced the entirety of the Switch 2 to the fullest. The console feels great as a whole, and there's so many little things that make it feel great that I would have never thought of, but I learned about them when playing. This should have been a pack-in title. I'm about to praise this game so much, but remember that above all, this should have been included with the system pre-installed. $10 isn't atrocious. If there was another base pack-in, then I'd totally see why it's $10. But the base model comes with nothing, so I don't know why this is separate. I bought it on a whim after hearing some of the games were fun, but this is genuinely a very charming introduction to the system, so why wasn't it included? I thought it was just going to be a brief showcase of some of the features. Look, here's a mouse, here's what frame rate is, here's how Rumble works. But this goes much more in depth than I thought. You're not going to be able to build your own Switch just because you've aced all the quizzes. But there's so much information about every design choice, from how the mouse sensor has a custom lens to the thought process behind giving the dock curves. I've been tricked into learning, but honestly it's the most fun part, seeing how they designed the connectors on the console to make sure they wouldn't break, learning how the Rumble has evolved since the Rumble Pack, hearing how good the microphone is with noise reduction, and the demos, man. I started getting excited every time I saw them because seeing the little things that the system could do was such a treat. Like, check this out, the Joy-Con can make coin and 1-up sounds. There aren't speakers on the controllers. The Rumble can make sounds. The minigames are pretty solid too, but they have multiple difficulties and medals to earn, and as someone who goes into games with a completionist mindset, this is my hell. The games can get pretty tough, honestly. I can't even get one win on the 3rd level of the Rumble game. They're addicting, don't get me wrong, but don't waste time trying to get the medals. It's gonna be quite the time sink if you're a completionist. If you have any interest in the inner workings of this console, then I can recommend it. It should have been a pack-in title, but this game hates me. Towards the end of Mario Kart 8's life, I started to feel that it was a bit easy. Not that you couldn't get screwed over, but getting 3 stars on every cup plus the booster pass wasn't too much hard work, and the game is much tamier than the likes of, say, Mario Kart Wii. Likely a symptom of how long it's been the Mario Kart, but I and many others recognize this aspect. And I guess they took that personally. I have never been fucked over more than I have when playing this game. The AI are all conspiring against you. You're getting hit by something constantly. Someone always has a boost to take the last shortcut and snag first. There are so many paths and shortcuts, rail grinds that lead to wall climbs that it feels impossible to figure it all out. This is the most fun I've had in this game. I feel like fucking writing turned off my pain inhibitors. Every win in this game I fucking earned. I fought for these victories, and the new movement feels great. Once I figured out the rails and wall driving, it started to feel amazing. You start seeing every pathway, everything that would have been a small detail before is now a distinct path of the track. I could take or leave driving to the next course. The fact that there's basically another full track connecting every level is really impressive, but I sometimes feel like the later tracks in a Grand Prix don't have much impact because it feels like you only really spend 1 lap there. Thankfully in Versus mode you can just pick to go 3 times around or take a path from a surrounding track. Knockout Tour is very fun, basically just one giant race. My only problem is, man, is it deflating to lose first towards the end. You could spend the entire race in first, and then get fucked at the end and have nothing to show for it. In a Grand Prix, if I get first 3 times, then unless I do horribly, the win is basically locked. But here, the only part that matters is the last leg, assuming you've been at the front of the pack and didn't have to fight to stay in the race. I'll be honest, I was worried when I saw that tracks were being used for the battle mode again. I thought we had learned after Mario Kart 8 on Wii U, but I was pleasantly surprised with how well these work this time. Instead of just being the racetrack, it's more so the area around the track from the open world. Because of the free roam, a lot of the tracks can be done forwards and backwards, and have multiple lanes to get through. And the ones that are retro are just hanging around in the open world as part of other tracks. They all feel well designed for both races and battle. Lastly, the free roam is a neat addition. I think there was this expectation that this would be this big, expansive world that you could sink hours into like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild. And I don't blame anyone for thinking that, but after playing it myself, it feels like more of a fun little side gig. The world part of this game is because you can link races together to make a Grand Prix where you drive to each track. This just feels like they took that world they made and let you play in it without any races or battles. But that's not to say that there isn't anything to do. The challenges are really fun, great ways to get a handle on the new movement, there are neat secrets to find, a good way of getting a feel for tracks without it being a time trial or a race. You can take your time and look around. There are a few things missing that I wish were in the game, like the only item options are normal and frantic, no shells only, no bob-ombs only. By the end of Mario Kart 8's life, you could fully customize the items in the game, so I don't get why it's so limited here. And the method of unlocking characters is pretty tedious. Some characters require you to get hit by the Kamek item, which you can't guarantee will happen in a race. You'll probably have to grind it out with 2 players. To be fair though, no mainstays are unlocked this way. The main cast are unlocked in the Grand Prix mode. Lastly, I just want to say that this game's Rainbow Road is fantastic. An amazing homage to Rainbow Roads of the past. It almost feels like a send-off. It wouldn't have felt out of place to have the credits in the background. But the thing that they don't really tell you about this game is that it's actually an $80 soundtrack with a game stapled onto it. They don't just have music from like every Mario Kart course in the series past. Like, why is Coconut Mall here? That track isn't in the game, but why did they fully remaster that music? But they have music from pretty much every mainline Mario game, period. And a lot of the spin-offs too. Look, you want your soul to be elevated? Go listen to this game's soundtrack. Then it's got the... They even got the fucking... Now, GameCube Online is easily the most and least exciting part of this package. We've wanted GameCube games for years, and in time I'm sure this will be a lot more substantial, but right now there are only 3 games, F-Zero, Wind Waker, and Soul Calibur. Not that it's not a big deal to have these games, but this is it. It doesn't even fill the whole row. This still feels undercooked for launch. No Mario games? I know a bunch of games are planned for the future, but the drip feed has always been the worst part of the online service. I don't know if these games are coming later this year or in the next 3 years. I've just been playing Wind Waker, which is cool to have, don't get me wrong, but I can't help but feel like there just should have been more here for launch. I've been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch too. This version runs so much smoother than before, it almost doesn't feel real at times. I do have the Zelda Notes thing up when I'm playing usually, but it's really only just to jump scare me with the voice memories. I don't really feel like I get much out of it otherwise. I bought a couple of the physical games just to have some shelf presence around launch. I picked up Yakuza 0 Director's Cut and Hitman World of Assassination. At first I was going to pass on Yakuza because I figured if it was a game keycard I might as well just buy it digitally, but this would be a waste. But then I realized that if this was a waste, then what's this? Or this? Or this? Or this? Or this? I really wasn't interested in this version of Yakuza 0, it's already not a game I'm in love with. So, why did I buy this version of a game that, based on everything I've said to you, I must not like at all? Because look at me. Now Hitman I bought just because I love these games. There's one small issue though. Because I got it so close to release, it comes with the extra costumes and items as DLC. Pretty cool, I've always wanted to kill a man as Luigi. But this game is a game keycard, and that stuff is still a download code in the box. Why do I have to put in a code when the card already has nothing on it? What, would it not fit next to the one line of code that says download the game? Why do I have to go through this shit? All in all, I'm very happy with the Switch 2 so far. I'm loving Mario Kart, Welcome Tour was a surprising treat, Wind Waker is pretty fun, Yakuza 0 gives me hope that they'll update Kiwami on the Switch 2 so it runs better, Hitman's always a good time, and Tears of the Kingdom is still fantastic. The console is still in its infancy, but there's already a fair amount that I'm excited for this year. Donkey Kong comes out in a month, a new Kirby Air Ride, Chibi Robo's coming to the GameCube Online in the future, and honestly the GameCube just stuff opens up the floodgates for what's possible. I mean, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, the Mario parties, the sports games, Metroid Prime 1 and 2. It's not going to happen, but if we get a Twin Snakes port on GameCube Online, I would be stoked. Then in the more distant future, we have Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life, and of course the game I'm most excited for, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Until then, let me know what you think of the Switch 2, specifically the games and stuff, because I think we're all on the same page about the pricing pretty much, so I just don't think there's any point in beating that horse. I want to know what you think about the games. What are you looking forward to? What have you been playing on your Switch? What have you been playing in general? Just how's life? You know, let me know. But for now, have a great day, a beautiful morning, an awesome night, and I'll see you next time.